أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي كان موجودا قبل حدوث الأشياء ويبقى بعد فناء الأشياء، تفرد بالأولية والقدم ووسم كل شيء ما عداه بالفناء والعدم، كما قال عز شأنه: كل شيء هالك إلا وجهه وكل نفس ذائقة الموت، وقال: كل من عليها فان ويبقى وجه ربك ذو الجلال والإكرام. والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنام، سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين، ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، فقد قال الله في كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم: ولا تركنوا إلى الذين ظلموا. صلوات. We just passed the 10th days of Muharram, and it is the month of Muharram. And this month we commemorate the event of Karbala, and we remember the sacrifice and the greatest sacrifice of the grandson of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Karbala is a message of real Islam, true religion, a religion of Adam and Nuh and Ibrahim and Musa and Isa. شرع لكم من الدين ما وصى به نوحا. Allah has revealed the religion, Islam, to all the prophets, and Karbala is the real practical teaching of all these prophets. That's why we call Imam Hussein alayhi salam as the heir of Adam and Nuh, waritha. Salamu alayka waritha Adama. Safwatullah, salamu alayka waritha Nuh and Nabiyullah. So he is the inheritor of all these prophets. He is the heir of all these prophets. And he is the one who represents all these prophets in the battlefield of Karbala. And we were talking about justice. Imam Hussein alayhi salam is the best example for standing up against oppression for the sake of justice. Karbala teaches us justice, to be just and start justice from ourselves and be fair and just with each single dealing with anybody we do in our life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed His book Quran. The purpose of Quran, the purpose of sending all the prophets is, as we discussed earlier, is establishing peace and justice on earth. Or we should say justice and peace on earth, because justice breeds peace. And if there is no justice, there will be no peace. So for peace on earth, we need justice on earth. Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam stood up against the tyrant of his time, a tyrant who claimed to be a successor of Rasulullah. This was the biggest problem. Why? Because if somebody is just a tyrant, he is a killer, let's say he is an oppressor, it's bad, it's evil. But if this evil claims to represent God on earth. Think about the intensity of such a claim. Yazid was doing this worse evil. He was evil, but he was claiming to be the Khalifa of the Prophet who came for peace and justice, who said, I have been sent by God, إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ, to complete the heights of akhlaq and manners and ethics. So there are so many aspects of this event to discuss. First of all, how can somebody who can be described with no doubt as the worst character in human history, worst tyrant in human history, Yazid, how can he sit in such a place where he can claim to be successor of whom? The best person in human history, the best human being in human history. Look, where is the best and where is the worst? How this happened? This is the question for anybody who is listening, who doesn't know about Karbala, who doesn't know about the history of Islam. He'll say, what? You're saying worse? Worse. Zero. Below zero. He representing someone who is the highest. Two extremes. How it is possible? Let's say maybe somebody who is sitting in some place, he doesn't deserve that place. But he has some qualities maybe who made him reach to such a place. A doctor, he's on the vacation. Who sits on his place in his office to take care of the patients? A doctor. It is possible that somebody who is not doctor or who is not a good doctor, he can come and say, okay, I will take care of his patients, don't worry about it. So this is possible. And you can come and say, no, he is not a good doctor, he doesn't deserve this position, he is not such good as the one who is originally doctor and he is on the vacation. Yeah, but still he is a doctor, maybe not to that position. Or you might say, no, he is not a doctor, but he knows something about the medicine or something, and he is sitting here claiming to be a doctor. He has something. No. You see that in the place of a doctor, not such a person who has some qualities that might match the original doctor. No. He is totally opposite of that doctor. The doctor is kind, he is rude. The doctor is doctor, he is a killer, not just doctor. He's, butcher. Bring him, a butcher sits there, let everybody come here. I will do the surgery. Cut the hand, that's it, finish. Right? It's not possible. Practically, it's not possible. Now, how Yazid can sit in this place? This is a question that everybody should ask and go and do research. This is a very important question. Okay, after how many centuries this happened? Today, maybe somebody comes and says, I am the person who represent Jesus today after 2,000 years. And he doesn't deserve that position, let's say. This is possible. Why? Because Jesus passed away 2,000 years ago. And his teachings are, distorted. Now, it's possible. So how far was the distance, time distance between Rasulullah and Yazid? It was only 50 years. Exactly 50 years. What happened in 50 years? That the worst person is sitting on the place of best person. What happened? Where was the wrong? Who is responsible for this? How come? How is it possible? Can you imagine? Astaghfirullah, somebody someday can come here and he drinks alcohol. He's a drink card and comes, stands up here in Maulana's place. And say, yeah, he's Maulana. How is he Maulana? No, he is not Maulana, but he is in the place of Maulana. If Maulana is not here, he will offer the Salat Jamaat. Is it possible? Can you accept it? Will you accept it? No. No, not at all. Not at all. You might say, no, this is even, the example is the wrong example. How can is it possible? Somebody sitting here in a sacred place, drinking alcohol, which is Khaba'ith, the mother of evil, is something that is so much discouraged in Islam. So why? But this happened in Islamic history, unfortunately. Now see how Yazid came into this position. How he grasped this position of Khalifatu Rasulullah. Claiming, of course, he could not get the position, but he was claiming to be Khalifatu Rasulullah. This claim is not, a simple claim. So he's saying, I'm Khalifatu Rasulullah. How? Here is the question. When you ask this question, you have to go back. Let's see the power of Yazid. How he got here in this place. Who brought him? You will reach to his father, Muawiyah. Muawiyah is also a person. Look, subhanallah. Muawiyah is son of Abu Sufyan. Abu Sufyan, until the last time, he continued fighting against Islam and the Prophet of Islam and Muslims. Everybody knows that. In the end of the mission, Islamic mission, before the less than 2 years before the death of the Prophet, forcefully to save his life, he proclaimed Islam. He said, I'm a Muslim. And he continued his conspiracy against Islam after becoming a Muslim. He had good relations with munafiqeen and all the enemies of Islam. Even Quran called them mu'allifatul qulub. Means the Prophet would watch them closely, what they are doing, and try to just be nice with them so that might accept Islam wholeheartedly. Mu'allafat al-qulub. Muawiyah became Muslim even after Abu Sufyan, after his father. And he admonished his father for accepting Islam. He said, you the leader of the enemies of Islam, now you accepting Islam, you can do that. You are my father. And he fled to Sham. This person, even before Yazid, he is saying, I am Khalifatu Rasulillah. This is in 40 years, even 10 years before Yazid. He became, according to some people, Khalifa, and accepted by people. Now, how he came to this position? Here is this question, the answer for this question is not acceptable to everybody. Or it is acceptable, but they do not want to hear it. How a Muawiyah, somebody enemy of Islam, the whole life struggling against Islam, he coming in a position to claim to be successor of the Prophet of Islam, the founder of this religion. How? Who brought him here? Who gave him this position? Who gave him this power? Who let him be so powerful that he can challenge the legitimate Khalifa of Rasulullah? So these are the questions. That's why, listen, in Muharram, when we sit and listen to majalis and cry for Imam Hussein alayhi salam, these majalis and this crying and this commemoration has a lot of wisdom and knowledge. And this strengthens our faith and strengthens our deeds and makes us a good mu'min if we think and reflect. Just like Quran, if you read Quran, you read it without thinking in it, so it's not going to help you. The same thing about majalis and matam and azadari. We have to reflect on what we are doing and why we are doing. It's not just something, astaghfirullah, pitiable event that we just having pity on Imam Hussein. It's not that. It is something that opens the mind and lets us think and reflect more and more and more. Imam Ghazali, one of very famous Muslim scholars, Sunni scholars, he has a fatwa that it is haram for khatib, for an orator, it is haram to speak about Hussein. Mentioning the name of Hussein is haram for a khatib, an orator, a speaker. If somebody goes on the pulpit, he has no right to speak about Hussein. If he does so, this is haram, this is sin. So people are asking, what are you talking about? Why talking about Hussein is sin? Because when he talks about Hussein, he talks about his martyrdom. So what? So why it is haram to talk about his martyrdom? What are you talking? He said, no, because when somebody talks about his martyrdom, he's going to talk about his killers, who killed him. When somebody says, okay, Yazid was the cause, Shimr killed him, let's say directly. Umar Sa'ad was there to order him to kill. Ibn Ziyad ordered Umar Sa'ad. Yazid ordered Ibn Ziyad. So these sequence. Now, the person who is taking the name of Hussein, just taking the name of Hussein. Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. What Ya Hussein? Hussein was killed. Who killed him? Shimr. Who told him to kill him? Ibn Ziyad or Umar Sa'ad. Umar Asad, who was he? He was a commander. Who made him a commander? Ibn Ziyad. Who was Ibn Ziyad? He was a governor. How he became a governor? Yazid ordered him to kill Hussein. Yazid? Who is Yazid? He claimed to be Khalifa. Khalifa? How can he be Khalifa? Muawiyah made him Khalifa. This is Imam Ghazali is saying this. So he says the reason why يحرم على الخطيب ذكر الحسين لأنه يؤدي إلى بغض الصحابة. This was his reasoning. Because ذكر الحسين, invoking the name of Hussein, leads to بغض الصحابة. People will start hating Sahaba if they speak about Hussein. The more you speak about Hussein, the more you start hate Sahaba. People ask him, are you okay? What is the relationship between killing of Sahaba, killing of Hussein and Sahaba? What is that? So then he said, here is the link. When you say who killed him, then who ordered him, then who ordered him, until you reach to Yazid, then you ask how Yazid was so powerful and able to kill Hussein. Then the answer is because his father made him Khalifa. Who was his father? Muawiyah. How Muawiyah was able to do so? Who gave him this authority? Now you go back. When you go back and try to find out who appointed Muawiyah, such a guy who everybody knew that he was enemy of Islam, and enemy of humanity, not just Islam, enemy of humans. He was what he was. Everybody knows. Then how he got this position? Who gave him? Here, when you say the name that this person gave him this position and left him for 25 years without change in one place in Sham, in Syria. 25 years with full authority, full power. Think, why? All the governors were changed or exchanged except Muawiyah. He remained in his place. Why? Because the center left him in his place. Who was in the center? When you ask who was in the center, this leads to Bughd Sahaba. This is the philosophy of Imam Ghazali. Today when you hear people are speaking against Azadari, against this commemoration, against this mourning for Imam Hussein, don't do it, this is bid'ah, this is haram, this is forbidden, don't do it. The only reason is this. It's neither haram, neither it is bid'ah. Everybody knows, and they also know, and they cannot prove it. But they know that it is bid'ah. Why? Because it leads to bughz sahaba. While this is wrong, our philosophy is this leads to hubb sahaba. We start respecting sahaba more when we speak about Imam Hussein. Why? Because we know who is real sahabi. We'll distinguish between real sahabi and wrong sahabi. We're starting loving more sahaba. Habib ibn Madahir was sahabi. Muslim ibn Awsaja was sahabi with Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And here we can see, okay, who is real sahabi? Don't call everybody sahabi. We start love sahaba who loved Hussein alayhi salam, who loved Ahlul Bayt. So, this is a big philosophy, brothers and sisters. That's why I say Karbala is a philosophy, a logic and philosophy both, a wisdom and a knowledge. When we talk about it in Muharram and Safar, this is a great blessing for us from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the only community who has such great blessing that you hear from different ulama, from different scholars, on different topics. And all topics are related to Karbala, and Karbala is nothing but a tafsir, an explanation of Quran, a practical tafsir. You see a written tafsir, a verbal tafsir, this ayah means this, and this verse means this, and this chapter means this. Imam Husaini in one day has told every human being, if you want to know what Quran is saying, come let me tell you practically, Quran means Karbala. This is what Karbala is. And this is what humanity is. Look, those who are against Karbala, look practically today, look at, watch on the TV, listen to the news. It's not about 1400 years ago. It's today. Today. See who is killing, who is terrorist, who is murderer, who are oppressors, who are tyrants. Check now by yourself. And who are being killed, who are oppressed, who are madloom, who are murdered. See both of them. The person who does matam, commemorates Imam Husain's martyrdom, he can never be an oppressor and wrongdoer ever. He cannot be. Period. And the one who is against Hussein, he cannot be just ever. He cannot be nice. He cannot be a real, a good human being. Leave alone being a Muslim. Killing the pilgrims, killing the children, women, people in the graveyard, people in the funeral services. Can you imagine that? But you don't have to imagine. You go and look and watch. No imagination. I mean, reality. There is something going on. And inshallah, next Friday, there is a great protest against these terrorists, these Yazidis, these children of Muawiyah. Inshallah, we'll have this protest. Many people are going from here. If you want to join, sure, go in New York in front of the UN building. Inshallah, we'll be there. I have changed my schedule, and I will be there, inshallah, next Friday. So this is just one Friday, but always we are in a state of protest against injustice. This is Husainiyat. This is Azadari. This is Shiaism. Shiaism means protest against injustice and support of justice, against oppressors, with oppressed. This is Shiaism. That's it. Nothing else. And the best slogan, strongest slogan against injustice, against oppression, against tyranny, against wrongdoing, against evil is Ya Hussein. This is the strongest. The tyrants are afraid of this Ya Hussein. Don't say it. But we'll keep saying it, inshallah. We'll keep saying it. And this will keep us and the other humans alive in this world and keep us safe from tyrants and from wrongdoers and terrorists. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shower His blessings of love of Hussein alayhi salatu salam on all of us. And may Allah give us more love and strengthen this knowledge and love that we have in our heart to Imam Hussein alayhi salatu salam. إن أحسن الحديث وأبلغ الموعظة كتاب الله أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر